there's a scene on a plane where Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson are getting yelled at by somebody.
Do you have a story this week? Oh, that's anger management.
Oh.
Yeah.
The only story I have is I had an interesting interaction with a guy working this weekend that came by to talk to me. And he comes up to my booth, and I'm going to try to keep this as like neutral as in like what I do and what this guy did for the sake of he might be listening. But he comes up to the booth. And he's involved. He's running for local politics in this smaller town in Colorado, and so
not Boulder,
different town, because Boulder is not small. But so he comes
like
up
a small town outside of Boulder.
Yeah, like literally right outside of Boulder. And so he comes.
What's his name?
We'll call him Frank for the sake of the story.
Where does he live?
I don't want. He lives in. I don't want to give away.
Keep going.
I was like, I just said I didn't want to do that. We'll call him
What's
Frank.
his social security number? Did he give you information?
791. No, so we'll call him Frank for the sake of the story. But he comes by my booth, and his first question is, "Do you live in this town?" And because I'm in salesman like mode, so I was like, "Yeah," because.
I'm in salesman mode, so I lied?
Yeah, I fibbed, okay?
That's not a fib. That's a lie.
Nah, that's like a white lie.
A fib is like those jeans look nice on you because you like them. That's a fib.
It's a fib, Kevin.
A fib is I'm 10 minutes away when you know you're 15.
Well, I'm going to move to this town next year, so it's a fib. I don't live there now, but I'm going to. So he comes up, Frank.
Keep going.
Frank.
So you've lied to Frank.
I've lied to Frank.
Continue.
Frank goes, well, then you've probably noticed there's a lot more traffic in this town. And I was like.
And now you're like.
Yeah. I was like, yeah. There's a lot of traffic in this town.
Oh, yeah, Frank.
Like,
there's been a huge uptick in traffic.
I'm running to fix that. And then.
I'm surprised you weren't like, yeah, I actually fixed the traffic lights, Frank. That's my job there.
That's why
Why don't you commit to your lie?
That would
Why
not
don't you
make
build
any sense.
a bigger house of cards, Odie?
Given the fact that I was at a show where I sell things for a specific company, to then be like, I work on traffic lights, he would probably be like, what the fuck? No, what?
Roll for deception. All right.
So he asked me about the traffic, and then unprompted, he goes, well, the reason for that is because everybody has to commute to other towns because nobody here wants to pay them. And that's why I'm fighting to lower minimum wage. And I was like, wait, so there's traffic here because people have to drive to other towns. So you're running to lower minimum wage because then he was like,
that'll. Town.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not even kidding. He was like, that's going to help with the work ethic, and then that'll bring businesses back to this town so people can have jobs here, and they won't have to commute, and then the traffic will get better. This guy ranted.
You met a psychopath, is what you're saying. So, you met a man who said, I need less people in my town. What am I going to do? All right, keep going.
So it rounds out with, he's like, he rants for, I'm not kidding, at least 5 minutes. And I know that
just
because
goes off.
I have a 15-minute video on loop, and we were a third of the way into it at that point. So,
well, this is instant karma for you for lying. So, okay, go on.
Actually, it's not, because the story has a happy ending for me. So
go ahead.
So he rants for a second, and then he's like, I like you. What do you guys do again? So I gave him like a quick spiel about the business. He's like, yeah, I'll make an appointment, and I got my commission, baby. So my lie got me a commission.
He likes you because you listened to him.
Yeah, exactly.
He likes you because you were, like, okay, that's first off. All right,
props to me.
Let's bring you back down.
First off,
no, let's bring you back down.
We're all clapping.
You're not. This is not a great job being a salesman.
Thank you.
Great job lying.
Thank you.
Yep. We love that for you. You had to listen to a 15-minute rant, but how much? But it earned you money at the end. Mm-hmm. Congrats. Welcome to America. That's the most American thing you could have done this week. Yep. Good job.
I'm a cog in the wheel.
Way to keep the wheels of America turning.
You're welcome. You're welcome, America.
All right. You're the cog, and that guy lowering the minimum wage is the fucking grease. Yeah. Good job.
I hope he doesn't get voted in. Just gonna say
Probably will now. Probably will now.
Yeah, you're right.
Now that if he does, I blame you.
Aw, that's not fair. I
blame
can't
you
even vote.
I blame you for lower wages in that town in Colorado because you listened to Frank.
I'm gonna let you on a
which
little
isn't
secret.
even his name. You're lying to me. You know what? Oh, let's just get in the podcast. I don't know how much of anything is true this week from you. Now,
Okay.
my
Guess we'll
trust
find
has
out.
gone down. Here's the most untrustworthy version of the UnPop podcast we've ever had.
Yep.
Let's go.
All
Getting right into it
Let's
right
do
now. All right, great. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
That's a fucking lie. That's a lie. You ready to clap?
I'm ready.
Probably a lie too. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the. You really clap? No, do the real fucking clap. You do the fucking thing. 3, 2, 1. No. Welcome back to another episode of the UnPop podcast. I'm here with my obstinate and untrustworthy co-host. My name is Kevin Miner. He, him. Your Capitan Total El Siempre. Honestly, with me as always is
Matt Pfeiffer, the captain cooking up content. Sorry, that's a lie. I'm not Matt Pfeiffer.
That's
Kevin
not who
Miner,
you are.
he, him, the captain.
No!
Odie Miner, the me.
You know, you're taking too long. This week, we're sponsored once again by Cookie Cups. I brought a king-size pack.
Oh,
this
you renamed
week.
them.
This is, yeah, they're
Also,
not Reese's Oreo.
I'm Odie about this
Reese's-
the chef cooking up content that he.
Reese's Oreo is lazy. Reese's Cookie Cups are back. Let's get into the news.
News.
Yeah, baby. It's the UnPop News coming at you fresh and hot from the command deck of the SS Marlon Brando. Let's see what this week had in store.
First bit of news. You ready for this?
Yes.
Star Wars Episode 10 has been greenlit with Lawrence Fishburne, Keanu Reeves, and Jessica Simpson starring. And the director is McG, actually.
This is a lie.
It's a lie. I'm
Thank
kidding.
you. Fucking A. I was like, that's not real.
Yeah, no,
There's
that's
no
good
way.
job, Matt.
See? I'm not Frank, man. You can't lie to me, and I want wages to go higher.
Yeah, me
I
too.
am anti-Frank.
Anti-Frank.
All right.
All right.
Real news. Go.
This is cool, and it's not something we usually talk about, but I wanted to put this in here. Sean Astin has been elected the SAG-AFTRA president.
I saw that.
Which
That's
I think
nice.
is really
That's
cool.
wholesome.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that, but I just thought that was really cool that I love Sean Astin. I love him in everything that he's been in since Lord of the Rings. This is cool.
Sean Astin is one sitcom away from being America's dad.
Completely. Like at this point,
Right?
he was
He's a
there
good guy.
almost in Stranger
We all like
Things,
him.
and then he got eaten
We
by a dog.
all like him.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Good guy.
So, Super Mario Bros. The
Super Mario Bros.
movie
Next
from
piece.
2023 that made $1 billion somehow. Well, actually, not somehow. It's pretty obvious.
Did
how
it make
$1
$1 billion?
Yeah, it made like $1.1 billion.
Video games are popular.
Little kids like bright colors and Mario. So yeah, same with Minecraft.
I mean, okay, if you put little ADHD me in the theater and had me watch a Mario movie, I probably would have left going, that was the best movie
absolutely.
of all time.
If I was an
you know?
8-year-old, 100%. But when I watched
Okay,
it at
cool.
like 30, no, not as much.
So their demographic is enough that they succeeded.
I mean,
with a movie that should have succeeded. It's not a horrible movie. Let's be real. It's a fun one, right? Like it's just fun.
yeah, I don't remember it very
Do you think
much.
it's bad?
I don't remember it. I pushed it out of my brain like, well, that's not true. The
Well,
Minecraft
it's
movie
kind
was
of like it's kind of got like all the symptoms of modern movies. Like it's a very memeable movie, right? Like
Yeah.
everything's happening at a breakneck speed.
It's only
with
an hour
like
and a half.
really quick little interact. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of like long sustained interactions in that movie.
No, and I just think that the voice
Yeah.
cast is a big miss in a lot of areas, like
Oh, we already know. Yeah.
Bowser and Mario. I think those are two
Miss
big
me with
misses.
Chris Pratt. I think Jack Black was a good addition for Bowser because he made it less serious.
I think you could have
that was good.
The best casting.
Fine.
The best casting
Agree
for
to
me
disagree.
is Charlie Day as Luigi. Like that's
100%.
But
yeah.
So we got news about the sequel, which comes out next year, April 3rd.
Mario
of next
Galaxy
year.
movie.
Yeah,
right?
it's gonna be called Super Mario Galaxy Movie, and
one of the most popular games.
right, and the Galaxy like string of games is kind of like the core for a lot of the Mario fans, which means that this will probably. I would, if I had to guess, if I was a betting, a lying person, which we know I'm not either of those things.
You are.
Incorrect. I've never done that. I would say that this is going to stray away from the games and lean more into the absurdity that the Mario Galaxy world offers.
That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting away from the games is better. I feel like that was the problem with the first one. And this was kind of the thing that they did in the 93 one. Mario starts off as just a real-life plumber who gets sucked into the land. And I don't know. I feel like that doesn't work for me.
That's the actual game.
Well, the game is wrong.
Like, what are you talking about?
I mean,
that's
in a movie.
That's
like,
the plot of all
game,
Mario.
In the game, it makes sense. But in a movie, I don't know. It just didn't work. Like, how come Mario's 2 feet tall and Princess Peach is 5 feet tall? I just don't get it.
I like his well, that's the game too. Have you not been paying attention to Mario the whole time?
Can I tell you a little secret?
What?
I've only ever played one Mario game in my entire life, and it was Mario Sunshine.
This is making a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to play Mario as a kid.
Okay, this is making a lot more sense. Princess Peach is always that much taller than Mario, Odie. And those are his origins. He is a plumber that just gets sucked into a world where apparently he has a princess all of a sudden.
He's a legit real plumber?
Yes.
So we watched the Dust Bunny trailer this week.
Yep, we did.
With Mads
Mikkelsen, baby.
I'm gonna scoot past that before I get some hate.
You're just moving on.
Yeah, let's just move on. Kevin, what's Dust Bunny? Tell us about this trailer.
Well, I'm eating a cookie cup, but
stop eating, Kevin. Every week I tell you not to eat on the podcast. Every week you do. It's like you don't care about our listeners.
Okay, so Mads Mikkelsen is he is, oh boy, does he know this little girl and her parents, they got murdered. And she says that there's a monster under her bed who did it, and he's like, I'm the only monster here because I kill people. And then she's like, no, but for real, there's real monsters. And it turns out there are, and he's got to go fight them, but he doesn't necessarily believe in them, so I think we're going to get a long adventure where it turns out that like the monsters under your bed are real, and sometimes the real human monsters need to kill them.
Oh, so my next question was going to be, do you think there's an actual monster in this, or this is just more of like a human versus human conflict?
I think it's going to be a surrealist blend of imagination and real action thriller that ends up with like a really nice fight scene at the end. And,
it looks like
the girl will have something to do with conquering the monster under her bed.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely.
Yeah. So like a little like sprinkle of coming of age.
Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's in this as well. We see that David
she's a bad lady.
Is in this as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy, right?
It looks like they're all. It looks like they're all bad guys.
Looks like everybody's bad
except
in
for
this
Mads
movie,
Mikkelsen.
except for the girl.
Well,
no, it looks like Mads Mikkelsen's bad too.
Well, if he's on the girl's side, he's good, in my mind. You know, if he's helping her,
it looks like he's on a redemption arc.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
like it's not. Yeah, okay.
I will say this movie. Did you ever see Sucker Punch from Zack Snyder?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you know how like that movie kind of has that like hazy, like almost like fantasy kind of like filter over it during the action.
Yeah, there's like a film.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got from this one a little bit. It kind of has like a little bit of that like very much distinct, putting it in like a hyper realistic kind of over the top world with that look.
Yes, a little bit different from Sucker Punch, because Sucker Punch was like all like, it looks like Zack Snyder was like, and I want like 10% sepia tone on everything in this.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is more like, you can see some of the colors are more elevated and some of the contrast has been turned up to like make it seem more kind of like a waking dream, almost like a lucid state, you know?
Yeah, it just kind of has that same vibe of like a distinct look in the sense of like Sucker Punch or like even Sin City, where it's like, this is a distinct look for this world, and it's like, it's very much not ours. It's not like
I think that's good.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that'll help it.
I think the action in this is going to be really solid. Like,
yeah, and Mads Mikkelsen has a big knife in it.
yeah.
Like he's got some big blade thing.
And then Sigourney Weaver has guns in her high heels, so
which we
cool.
love.
Yeah, that's cool. Love that.
Yep.
It looks good. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, it might be one of those ones though that I leave and I go, this should have been an anime. You know, it's got a lot of elements that lean into that should have been an anime.
Should have been
realm.
animated like the Mario movie.
Yep. ODL, what else you got for me?
Are you a big fan of Michael Caine?
I love Michael Caine.
Yeah, and so you know that like he pretty much retired except for doing some like Christopher Nolan movies because he's in most of his. And he was like, I'm 92. I'm done making movies.
He's very old.
What would it take you, Kevin, if you were 92, huge movie star? I mean, you were in Jaws 4, The Revenge. That's how big of a movie star you are. What would it take for you to come out of retirement to do like one last movie?
I think if I saw Anthony Hopkins, like Sir Anthony Hopkins, attach himself to like really horrible product that
like
was slated to do at least like 3 movies, not just another maybe 2 horrible projects like a Transformers or a Rebel Moon even. I feel like as an older guy I'd be like, you know what, I don't think I would fuck up that bad. I'll do one more.
Yeah, well, you know what, I think for me it would take Dom Toretto wanting to go fight witches.
Dom Toretto.
Yeah, I think he'd have to be like, hey, you want to go fight some witches with me? We can go fight some witches.
You're speaking, of course, about
The Last Witch Hunter,
Mr. Vincent Diesel's The Last Witch Hunter.
So, funny enough,
good old Mark Sinclair's at it again.
Not too long ago on Magnum Opus, I looked at The Last Witch Hunter, and I don't remember what category I put it in, which probably means I put it in just plain garbage.
Just plain garbage.
I'm pretty sure. And that movie clearly wants a sequel by the end, and it's not very interesting. And I remember tearing it apart a little bit, being like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. But apparently, they've been trying to get a sequel for years because that came out in like 2019. And somehow Vin Diesel and Michael Caine are such good friends that Michael Caine's coming out of retirement to reprise his role for this movie.
So this movie, we listened to the Weekly Planet podcast. Shout out Weekly Planet and Great Mates, and they have a category for their movies with the game is on category.
Oh yeah, I just
this
talked about
movie
that.
is very much. This is in that category of like, oh, the first one ended and Michael Caine had like that aura about him of the game is on. You know?
Yeah. Well, it ends with the two of them sitting on a bench, and Michael Caine being like, "We've got a lot more witches to kill," and he's like, "Oh,
exactly.
Let's go kill some more witches."
The game is on.
Yeah, and Elijah Wood dies in that in the stupidest way possible.
So bad.
It's a really okay, here's the thing about that movie. And I'm pretty sure I said this in my video.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of an immortal witch hunter from like the Crusade periods being in the modern day and still having to fight witches is very interesting. It's very Constantine coded in a way, right?
Yeah.
But the execution fucking sucks. So.
This is one of the many, like, I think Vin Diesel went through probably like a decade period where he was trying to like launch franchises, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like he was like, all right, I got Fast and Furious. Are people really digging Riddick enough? And
Babylon
like we got a couple
AD.
Riddick films.
That was another one.
Well, he dies in that.
No, he doesn't.
In Babylon, he's got the log cabin at the end. Never mind.
I did that one on Magnum Opus.
Sorry,
too.
I forgot about that. Babylon AD has the worst intro ever.
Yeah, it does.
And then, you got your Last Witch Hunter and then Bloodshot. Like, he was really trying to
I've done all of those on Magnum
new
Opus.
franchises. Well, you love Vin Diesel.
He's an easy target.
And, like, none of them really took off. I'm not excited for this.
No.
It's fine. Nobody asked for the new... Like,
No.
there's not, like... I don't even think there's an online forum that's like, petition for the new The Last Witch Hunter. Anybody?
Yeah.
If there is, it's like 3 dudes.
Yeah. Well, okay, so...
and one of them is Vin Diesel.
And one of them is Vin Diesel. The other one's Michael Caine, but he's 92, so it doesn't count.
I'm in.
I'm
in, Vin.
But, like,
I'm in, Vin.
To summarize the stupidity of the first one, the secret organization of witch hunters have this gigantic metal monstrosity that drags evil witches to prison. And during the movie, the witch society gets attacked by the evil witches, and they don't use that monstrosity to help. But then when Vin Diesel shows up and he needs to get somebody out of the prison so he can interrogate them, then the evil monstrosity tries to attack Vin Diesel. And it just
100%.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't have to.
No. You're right. It doesn't have to. You know what else doesn't make sense?
What?
Delays, Kevin. We've got some delay news.
Oh, no. What's been delayed?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith Season 2 has been delayed indefinitely at Amazon Prime.
Why?
Good question.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, so obviously...
That was a good first season.
And the idea was...
That was one of my favorite shows of 2024.
Yeah, it was good. And, it wasn't going to be... it was Donald Glover, and then who was the woman lead in that?
You got it.
Yep, sure do.
You know her name.
Why, look that up.
Loyal listeners, you know exactly who we're talking
Maya
about.
Erskine. I got it before
Maya
I
Erskine. We love her.
Yeah, so, the Season 2, as of right now, let me bring it up. My thing closed, so sorry.
Turns out Rings of Power Season 3 is eating up too much of Amazon's budget.
Yeah, well,
Amazon really threw down on 2 gigantic fantasy franchises without leaning in 100% and getting the best of the best for them, and I feel like everything is suffering for it.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
Rings of Power, they're doing Warhammer,
Wheel of Time. Well, no. Let's not. Warhammer is on the table. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'm saying that they're doing all these big, expensive.
Yeah, I think. Well, and they can afford to. And Jeff Bezos put more money into your shows. You don't need to rent Venice again. The very specifically Wheel of Time. I remember seeing it was finally canceled. I'm like, that took 3 seasons to cancel.
Yeah,
that show was never good. It was not good from the beginning. I feel like there was a small group of people who loved it, but not enough. And same thing with Rings of Power. And I actually keep finding things that I like in Rings of Power, but I'm not going to say I overall like if I found out Rings of Power was canceled, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense too.
I think a lot of people would be like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that tracks. They'd be like, that was still on. That's how I felt with Wheel of Time. I was like, I can't believe that was still on. The last thing I saw is people were trying to, I feel like Amazon was trying to pay people to hype up the show, because I was seeing clips of the show that I were hyping it, and I was like, this is a bad scene. Why are you hyping this? But yeah, everything's kind of suffering for that. And Mr. and Mrs. Smith was great and probably lower budget than those other ones.
Oh, I mean, I think probably the most thing they paid for was Donald Glover, Maya Erskine, and maybe Paul Dano. That was probably the most expensive, but they're not even in the whole thing.
And
I mean,
Ron
Perlman.
What's his name?
Yeah. The idea with Season 2 was to bring in new actors to do it's like an anthology essentially. It would be a new set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith is in a new part of the whatever.
Yeah, there's multiple Mrs. and Mrs.
Which
Smith.
Makes total sense given how the first season goes with the organization and what they do and all of that. So
I really loved that, and I loved seeing the sociopathic counterparts to Donald Glover and Maya Erskine's Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
So let me ask you this. How would you feel if they did a Season 2, right? But they brought back Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie?
I'd probably be like...
Just ruin
That'd probably be my full response would be, fine, whatever. I don't know that I'd watch it, because the whole point of, well, not the whole point. The whole reason I thought the first season was good was the chemistry between the kind of not even randomized, but the kind of volatile up and down roller coaster, will they, won't they chemistry of a fake married Maya Erskine and Donald Glover was phenomenal. And then every episode was actually an episode about a relationship issue, but just with the Fortnite style skin of espionage.
Well, yeah, and not to mention the original Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they don't know that they work for competing agencies and they get sent after each other, which is totally different.
Yeah, I actually liked this more.
Me too, way more.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I remember liking the original Mr. and Mrs. Smith back in the mid-2000s when it came out for what it was, an action.
It was a blockbuster hit.
Yeah.
two of the biggest actors of our day, having a great time shooting at each other. Yeah, of course. Everybody loved it.
Yeah, you know what I don't love?
What do you not love?
Highlander has been delayed because Henry Cavill got hurt in pre-production training.
I do. Oh, I don't love that he got hurt, but I feel like a delay for Highlander is fine. It feels like it was going too fast. I was getting too much news about it.
Well, we got a lot of casting news, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it was like we're full steam ahead, guys, and I'm like, I hope you're dialing up that plot because that doesn't hold up well.
Well, my question, I guess, really is with Henry Cavill doing Highlander, but he's also doing Warhammer. Is Warhammer? I'm wondering, and I don't know, but is Warhammer done filming? Because I want Warhammer first. Personally.
Henry Cavill wasn't just going into Warhammer to play a role, and they still haven't confirmed what role he plays.
I don't
and
think
it might not even be a lead role, but he's one of the consultants, producers. Like, he's in the space, right? We just don't know what yet. And you've heard me say a few times it would be great to see him play Eisenhorn. Gregor Eisenhorn would be phenomenal, but I don't know where they're gonna, because Warhammer's 40 years deep in lore at this point.
Oh yeah,
you know,
we've talked about that.
And so we don't know where they're starting, what they're doing, and we haven't gotten a ton of info about it. Other than that, it's still happening and it's moving forward and things like that. So I think, and Amazon and Games Workshop, Games Workshop is one of the biggest companies in their space, and Amazon they own half the world. They're the Wayland Yutani of our day. And so I think there's a lot at the table, and they're trying to accomplish things. And the only thing I hope for that is that seeing Henry Cavill pick up other projects shows that at least whatever he's doing with it is being handled correctly enough that he has time.
Well, that's the thing is I really like him as an actor, and I think the last thing I saw him in was that one movie from, oh my God, I can't remember the name. It was really bad.
Wow.
With Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell. Argyle. It was
wow.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he's a good actor, and
Argyle's from the Kingsman universe,
yeah, the Kingsman
right?
guy.
Yeah.
I would love to see Henry Cavill in more. So I was excited for Highlander to come out sooner than later, just because it'd be kind of nice to see him, and it gives me an excuse to cover those.
The thing I'm most excited about is Warhammer, because
Definitely.
It's phenomenal, and I'm a huge nerd, and I love lore, and Warhammer is a thing that I've been able to hyperfixate on in the past, and I can't wait to hyperfixate on it again when we get there.
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah.
Yeah. Highlander, yeah, fine, whatever. Isn't Idris Elba in that or something? There's a ton of people.
Idris Elba's in He-Man.
Okay. Who's in Jimon Hansu. He's going to be in Highlander, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That'll be okay.
Karen Gillan.
Good actors. Good
Gerard
casting.
Butler.
Good casting so far in Highlander.
Dude, it's honestly, there's a few movies coming out where I've seen some of the He-Man cast or the Street Fighter cast or Mortal Kombat 2 cast, and I'm like, yeah.
A lot of good casts, and then when we get into the movie this week, I actually really like the casting. I feel like the casting was phenomenal. Okay, cool. What else you got for news? You got anything else? I want to talk about our movie this week.
I got one last bit of news for you, Kevin. And
what do you got?
This is a quick one, and this is for you, baby.
Oh, it's for me.
This is an anime shout out. You ready?
A little present for me.
It's a little present for you. Anime shout out. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle opens to $33 million, becoming the highest anime movie opening of all time.
Woo!
They did it, everybody. They made a movie.
You know it.
They made a movie.
Yeah. Fucking. You knew it was gonna happen. You knew.
Oh yeah.
It topped when Demon Train arc came out. That was the top. They did it. They did it again. All they did was beat themselves, baby. That's it. Phenomenal movie. Real quick on that. You didn't see it, and you're not up to date with Demon Slayer either.
I'm slowly catching up.
Real quick update on that. Zenitsu, my boy, gets a moment to shine in this movie. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's actually quintessential to the movie. And this, I think I like the. You said there were pacing issues, and I think I know the one spot of the movie that people are talking about, but it's not throughout the whole thing.
Oh, good.
Because I was very, very, very much engaged until one part, way later, like third act, and I was like, okay, this is too much for right now. But really good movie and totally deserving of accolades and awards and the hype and everything. Like, it does live up to its hype. So.
Awesome. I can't wait to watch it one day.
Yeah. And that's it for me. That's my little bit of anime news.
Yeah, I just threw that in there for you.
Yeah. I love Zenitsu. He's like one of my favorite characters. I think he might end up being like he's one of my favorite shonen characters. It's hard to beat out. We've talked like favorite anime. I feel like I'm so nostalgically attached, and not only that, like a lot of my favorite anime are such classically like high rated anime that like it'll be hard to like replace one of my favorite characters. But Zenitsu kills it. He's so good. I love that guy so much. I love everything he stands for. It's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk movie of the week then.
Let's go. Odie Matthews at the movies.
Odie Matthews at the movies.
And Kevin. All right. Yeah, so we went and saw The Long Walk, odd choice this week. Everybody knows why. We don't need to talk about it, but that was a weird choice. But the theater was full anyway.
My theater was full too.
Packed. People. Okay, so proving that Stephen King can still pull a movie. Now, Odie, why do you think they didn't market this as a Richard Bachman movie?
Who the fuck is Richard Bachman? That's why.
The name that Stephen King originally published
we
this
know
under.
that, but the general public would probably be like, from the mind of Richard Bachman, who's
love
that?
Richard Bachman. He wrote Desolation. It was a great story. Come on, it was a huge book. I don't know why I read books that were that big when I was a child. So famously, The Long Walk is a short story by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Penned by Richard Bachman. It's a short novel, I would call it, I guess, because there's enough pages. But it's really well. I would say The Long Walk already has a cult following, like in that I feel like anybody I ever talked to as an adult or even like in high school or college who knew The Long Walk also knew like 1984, Brave New World, The Giver, and like all of those stories are kind of in that vein. So I feel like people who went through the angsty I don't trust society phase as part of their rite of passage in the US have read all of these. Like the newer generation got Hunger Games. We got these books, which are fucking way darker.
Yeah. I mean, I see a lot of people. There's a lot of comparisons to Hunger Games, and I'm just going to say this here. I think the comparisons end at a bunch of kids compete to the death for something, because Hunger Games is entirely different. It's 2 tributes from every district. You don't get to necessarily, you don't volunteer, you're voluntold. It's not just you win the riches, it's your district wins the riches. It's a little different.
Yeah. Well, and the Hunger Games is more of a class model commentary.
Exactly.
Whereas this is a dystopian future, and it's an examination of how that dystopia specifically affects the human psyche, and on a much smaller scale than the Hunger Games. Like the Hunger Games is talking about the interaction between the classes. In this movie, foreseeably, and like they don't really get into much outside of it, and I'm glad they don't in the movie. Like all these guys kind of appear to be relatively of the same class. Like everybody's like, yeah, it's fucking hard out there for us,
So
yeah. So what do you think? Why don't you summarize the plot of this movie real quick for everybody?
Kevin, it's so nice to see that Luke Skywalker finally followed in his father Anakin's footstep and just decided to kill a bunch of kids. But instead of walking a long time to go kill the kids like Anakin did, Luke just decided to have them walk for a long time, and that made it easier on him. And I think that it's really great that he finally, answered his true calling, which is to just kill a bunch of younglings.
To be relatively genocidal and militaristic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me share this with you. I remember someone saying Mark Hamill was in this movie before I went and saw the movie, right? I watched the whole movie and like left and had thoughts about it and whole conversations and stuff. And then right before we started recording this morning, I was like, all right, well, let's bring up the cast list, right? And I was like, oh, fuck, Mark Hamill was in that. Where was he? Dude, I legit, for like 2 seconds, I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, I
mean,
he
crushed it in this film as the Major. He crushed it. I was like, wait, that was Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
I had to actually think back. I had to reach back into my memory of 2 days ago and go, really? That was him?
He's in his villain era.
He did such a good job playing the Major. Probably, I would actually say, apart from, there are a couple really standout performances in this movie, but I would say, like, he's one of them for sure.
Oh, easily. I think the standout performances for me are definitely Mark Hamill. David Johnson, who is Peter,
crushed it.
Also from Alien Romulus.
He's Andy in Alien Romulus.
I also thought that Charlie Plummer, who was like the antagonist, kind of the kid that like was a dick.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
he's really good. Also,
very good.
The guy that played Hank Olsen, Bin Wang, he's the new Karate Kid. I thought he did a really good job. And also, obviously, props to the main lead, Cooper Hoffman, who plays Ray Garrity.
Cooper Hoffman, famous son of Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Jesus, Dustin.
He's Philip Seymour Hoffman's kid?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God, that makes so much sense now. He looks like him, kinda.
And here's the crazy thing: before and you see that, and there's a lot of conversation about nepo babies, and I want to put this out here right now. In order to be a nepo baby, your parents have to be alive to get you the pull. So, I don't think this counts, and I don't think anybody should call him a nepo baby because his dad died when he was 10. So, that's traumatizing.
Yeah, and he wasn't acting until 2021, so...
And Philip Seymour Hoffman actually, and I do, kind of remember talk about this from back in the day when he passed, he didn't want his kids to grow up in Hollywood anyway. But... he's Philip Seymour Hoffman's son, right? And they're friends with Paul Thomas Anderson, and so of course he ends up being, his debut is in Licorice Pizza, and I don't think that's because Paul Thomas Anderson was like, this is my friend's son and I'm doing him a favor. I think
10 years
actually
later.
I think he actually he worked and became a good actor, and it shows because this is the second movie I've seen him in, and he's great. Yeah,
he is.
He does such a good job.
Him and Peter, Ray and Peter's chemistry and
100%.
Performances together,
David Johnson. Yeah, David Johnson now back to back. I've seen him in a movie in the summer. So 2024 Romulus, 2025 The Long Walk. He is doing really great in this dystopian sci-fi realm. I really love what he's doing. I hope he does even more, but he does well here. At least we know he does well in this space. You know?
Totally. I need to say this here because we're going to talk about all of it. I would say there's not much we can talk about without spoiling it, because I mean the main thing about this movie is only one person can survive. So it's really about the moments and the events that unfold between characters leaving the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to say this here, and I know that I'm in the minority here, but hey, when it comes to movies, it's a subjective opinion, and you're allowed to think what you want. So, I'm just going to say that here. I can never get into these movies where the world or the country, we'll say the country, has gone through something, whether it be a war or a famine or whatever, and the solution was a bunch of adults being like, you know what we should do to fix this? We'll get 50 kids to walk, but here's the thing. We'll kill them if they stop walking, and the last one gets money. And before you say anything, it's the same thing with Hunger Games. And I've had this argument with people on Hunger Games. What if we got a bunch of kids to fight to the death, and whoever wins, they get money? And look, I know, and you can at me all you want. I know it's about the commentary on society. It's about, in The Long Walk, it's about, what's it like before those moments? What's it like on the human level, the interaction, the philosophy behind it, the meaning behind it? And I get all of that. And I think all of those messages are really cool. But for some reason, for me, when I watch these movies, no matter what, I can't help but go, this is silly. And the main reason is in this. There's a line where one of the characters says, "Every boy, every man signs up for the long walk. Everybody does." And in that moment, I laughed because I was like, I wouldn't. Like, I know for a fact. Even in this world, I know for a fact there are people that can walk longer and are mentally stronger than me. So why the fuck would I do that?
Well, people train for it, first off. And I think the people who sign up for it are people who are so hard-pressed that they have to. Okay. I'm going to sell you on this
all
a
of
little
that.
bit. I'm going to sell you on this a little
Try.
bit. Okay. So this isn't the thing about this movie is you can make the comparison to other dystopian America things all you want, right? But they all have their own place. Like The Giver is about very specifically, The Giver's more about like the oppressive institution of education. Hunger Games is class. The Brave New World is about the danger of like complacency. 1984 is about the danger of adhering to totalitarian rule and just accepting what you hear as fact. The Long Walk is about The Long Walk is about the perceived identity of a person insofar as it relates to their fellow man and country. And it does such a good job of painting that picture without hammering, and even the book, it does a great job of painting that picture and showing those relationships without hammering you over the head with society's bad. Like, it does a very good job of just saying this particular part of society is the worst that it gets. And let's put a microscope on that and examine how that makes these characters behave. In The Long Walk, I read the book fucking forever ago. I think there's like a window because you don't see any like men over a certain age. Like, it's kind of like college age guys,
like
right?
Young 20s.
But well, the reason that it's 18 plus, right? Which is like the age that like you're considered an adult, right? And so a lot of the men that you see in this are like 18 up through early 20s, and then you even have the one kid who's like, I had to lie about my age to get in because like I just turned 18 or whatever. You know, he's not actually 18 even. So like you have a lot going on. So let me break down the plot real quick and kind of sell you on it a little bit. In the future, a civil war has torn the country apart, and they reference it. Yes, they reference a war, but it was a war that we waged on ourselves, and it totally left the country destitute. At the end of that, foreseeably, and once again, I'm really glad that we don't get hammered over the head with this, there was a coup of sorts, and that's why you have a military-run government. This is not like we got together and we're oppressing the working class. It's no, the major is the government. Like, he's the guy. He is the despot. He is the ruler. He is the the hegemon of so to say. And so what they've done is in a much more unpredictable way than some other books make it. So like Hunger Games is like, every year we do this, and this is the Hunger Games. This is like, hey, morale's low around the country. We should probably do the Long Walk again, yeah? You know, like, they're like, it makes it feel more real because they're not like, every year men sign up. It's like, no. We do this when things are real rough, just to give people bread and circuses.
See, I got the idea that it was every year. They made it seem like people volunteer.
No, they say it in the movie.
Year. What?
No, they even say it in the movie. They're like they do it to boost morale. Like they were like they talk about how it wasn't.
Oh,
like,
but it still felt like it was like a once a year thing.
No, they said like the last long walk was 6 years ago. You know, like it's So it's. And I really like that. And you might have missed that line, but that was in the movie. They did say the last long walk was 6 years ago. And then there's also like, and then so through this lens of the morale boosting bread and circuses military government show of the Long Walk, we end up discovering what life is like and what people wish life could be like through the bonding and sometimes separation of these characters. And we get that over the course of roughly 5 days, 300 plus miles, until, and spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, they say at the beginning, and they even say in the trailer, they walk until there's one left.
Yeah.
And that's the point of the long walk, is to have one person who can represent this shining hope for everybody else, which is a direct commentary upon the current state of America, because that's what we do. We point at the top 0.00001% of people who succeed at something, and we go, hey, everybody who's having a really fucking tough time, that was dealt a really tough hand, that never got a silver spoon, that never got any handouts, that never got anything. Hey, pull your fucking bootstraps up and look what you could be. You know? And, like, that's what I like the most about The Long Walk in comparison to some of the others, is it's a direct allegory for the way that we treat people once they succeed.
I like the score in this movie.
Yeah, me too. It's very good. Look,
I get what you're saying, and again, I totally understand all of that, but I think it's because, and I don't know, I feel like the idea, and I don't know, like, I get that, like, people don't agree with my opinion, and that's totally fine, but, like, just the idea that the solution to the problem is a contest to the death, and like, it's funny because I say this, and I'm like, but I like the idea of Running Man, but that's a little different in my mind, because, like, that's one person, but, like, I just like the idea that we'll get a boy from every state, and then,
yeah.
I don't know, like, it's just the idea is just silly to me.
It's not even so much that it's like the solution, it's just a thing. And, like, you kind of get the sense of that. Like, there's not, like, all of them are like, I hope I win so that I get the prize, because that gets me out of the destitution that literally everybody else is experiencing. And then even at the end of the film, you don't even get, like, this great lens into, like, how the other citizens are living their lives. You just kind of see them. Like, they're just there. They're like set pieces, you know? And I like... I don't know. This just might not be your style of movie.
It's not.
You know, and so when we get to Running Man, which is very similar, you know, I'll be interested to see if you maybe like that less because it's in the same vein as
because
this.
I don't like the original Running Man movie. I like the idea of Running Man because it sounds interesting, but I haven't read it either, so I don't know.
Okay, so garbage, bad, fun, good or great?
It's fine.
Where do you put this?
It's fine. I mean,
it's
like,
fine, not fun.
It's
in
fine.
It's in between bad and good.
Yeah, like look, it's not bad by any stretch because it's got a great score, it's got great action, or not action, great actors, got great action actually. It's got, you know, I mean, honestly, the brutality of some of these kills is incredible. The way, like, the nighttime scenes, daytime scenes, like, it's a beautiful movie. It's not good because I at the end I laughed. Honestly, the final scene, I just laughed. I was like, that's stupid. But again, I'm in the minority on that one. I guarantee it. So, like, it's fine. It's See, the thing is, when I made the commitment this year to see every movie, like a movie every weekend, with giving myself 3 vetoes, which I'm already...
Your own version of The Long Walk, if you will.
Oh my God, it is the long viewing. I saw the trailer for this and immediately was like, I don't want to see that. Because I know it's not my kind of movie. So I only saw it for this podcast. But I knew that I was going to use one of my vetoes on it. So actually, I saved one of my vetoes. But, like,
good for you.
Knew from the moment I saw the trailer, I was like, that is a cool-looking movie that I know I will not enjoy.
Yeah.
I know myself, Kevin. I know myself.
I really loved this movie, but as far as, like, I think just the story / movie itself, for me, can't get above good. Like, good is where this stops for me. It doesn't become great, and I might fawn over it a little bit right now, but it's one of those ones that, like, I would watch again, for sure. I did enjoy. I think there were some really great things in it, but my subjective form of a great movie is somewhere outside of this category as well. Like, I'm with you. Like, this actually can't get a 10 out of 10 for me because dystopian films aren't always my favorite. Yeah. So I'm with you, but I also, like, bring it much lower. I really do enjoy this one in particular, and I think you can tell from the way that I'm talking about it, because it kind of it falls into that category. Like you've got Fahrenheit 51, V for Vendetta, 1984, Brave New World, The Giver, Hunger Games, Divergent, The Maze Runner.
Children
like we
of
have
Men.
these stories. Well, Children of Men is that's a masterpiece and that's not in this category.
That's the best one.
That's not in this category.
that's the
Yeah,
best
no, that one is the best. But like, fuck. Now I lost my thought because now I'm thinking of Children of Men. It's
Sorry,
so good.
it's such a good movie.
No, but like, so we have this story over and over and over again. Like we've been told it so many times and in so many different ways. I think the best part about this one and what makes it the most worth watching is it's the least spectacular of all of them because it's just a road. It's just the contestants. It's just the bottlenecked interactions and tensions within this group. And that's what makes it shine and stand out and makes it a little bit more original than the others.
And see, and on that, I think that's where my roadblock on these movies comes in because and I'm slowly because my partner loves Hunger Games, I've agreed to. There's a new one coming out next year,
God.
And it's about Hamish's like Hunger Games, which is actually an interesting story. So I agreed we'll watch them all in order. So we'll watch like the Sons and Snakes.
God.
Then we'll watch that one. Then we'll watch all the other ones. But I like in the very beginning, and we're basically in spoilers at this point. Would you say?
Hold on, I got a question before we do spoilers.
Okay. And then I'll go on my thing.
How far do you think you'd make it on this?
Dude,
that's a real question too. Like how, if we were doing the long walk this year, and like sign up was coming up, like and we signed up, like, well, you have to because it's dystopian America.
Okay, so if I have to sign up, even though I don't,
you have to sign up. You have to sign up. It's your only way out of starving to death.
I'll starve.
How far do you think you would make it in the long walk?
Dude, I have a bad knee. And my feet aren't the way they used to be. I would probably make it. If I pushed myself, I could probably make it past a mile 100. I'd probably make it to mile 5 and be like, nah, and just sit down. I'd be like, fuck this.
Knowing myself, knowing my limits, knowing like how much I can do and like overcome, I think I'd make it to top 10. But I think I would know that signing up. Like, I think I would have a very real expectation that if I can just make it that far, I might win. But that's in my mind, that's about as far. Because, like, the top 10, you're looking at, like, 250 plus miles over the course of, like, 3 to 4 days, nonstop, 3 miles per hour. Yeah, you get a refill of, like, water and food and stuff. But ultimately, I think I'd make it there, and then I don't know if I'd make it. Like my buddy who I went to go see this with, Josh, was like, "I think you'd win," and I was like, "Thank you." I don't know. I don't know that I could answer that. I'm also 38, so like
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm way out of this age graphic.
If you got me in my 20s. I could probably.
Oh, if you got me,
I honestly think I could probably win.
If you asked me this question and I was like peak Marine Corps physique, I'd be like, I'm winning this motherfucker. But now, with Marine Corps injuries and in my 30s, absolutely not, dude.
All right.
I can tell you for sure, I would get to that hill and I would look at it and be like, just shoot me. Just it's okay.
Well, and
I'm
one
done.
kid did do that. Like, all right. So, peak physique. Who do you think would win, you or me?
Me.
You know why?
Because I used to run like crazy in the Marine Corps.
Because I'd sacrifice myself for you. Because I love you.
No, because then I would sacrifice myself for you.
No, I would sacrifice myself for you. No, I would sacrifice myself for you. No, let's do spoilers. All right.
All right. So here's what I was going to say about this.
I can't believe that kid got shot while he was shitting. You would think they would give a rule for like.
That was so funny to me.
That sucks.
So okay.
Imagine.
Here's
all right.
Here's what I was gonna say before you asked me that question.
Okay, hit me.
I think the biggest hang up for me on these movies, and I think that this is the point of the movies, and to me it just never works. But like in the very beginning, that kid that's like he's definitely not 18. His name is Curly, and he's the first one to go. Which also, let me just say this: the trailer ruins this movie. you know who's gonna die, like, and how they're gonna die.
I haven't rewatched the trailer, but I'm gonna trust you on this.
Too much. I've seen this trailer like 8 times. So like I knew the kid that was writing the book. I'm like, well, you're the one with the broken ankle. Oh, you're the young kid? Oh, you're the first one to die that screams holding his head.
Yes, I did know that too. Yeah,
so
I knew that too. All right,
so Curly
gets
a Charlie horse early on, like probably like around mile like 50. It looked like
as
maybe.
kids do.
As kids do. And so Ray and Pete are trying to help him keep his pace. And throughout this movie, you know, everybody's helping each other, and like I get it
until the final stretches,
basically. Yeah, and so like and I understand that there's a lot of commentary and there's a lot of reason and like heart and person and human elements and all of that, right? Like you're gonna help out your person, but to me, I can't help but sit there and go, this is all for, and maybe this is the point. Maybe I do like this movie secretly. I can't help but go, this is all for nothing, because there's only going to be one of you, so you're helping each other just to eventually like avoid the inevitable, which the inevitable is you dying.
That is the perspective of one of the walkers, right? You know, like. That's the point of having that many contestants and like bottlenecking this and having the interactions, is to show the different perspectives people have on even just the concept alone, right? And you're right. Like I did know that kid was gonna die. As soon as he said he had a Charlie horse, I'm like, oh well, this is the lighting in one of the scenes in the trailer where he gets shot. Also, that was a brutal first shot.
Holy
that
crap.
Really established the stakes for this film. Like showing his jaw, I was like, whoa, that was a lot to take in on this Friday night. And then they just continue to be brutal. Did you notice that what was his name? The Asian kid. What was his name?
Hank Olsen?
In the movie? Hank Olsen. Did you notice that Hank Olsen, when he went for the gun, he then afterward was going, I did it all wrong, to his friend. So I forgot that this happens, but like a couple of the guys in the book do talk about like, well, what if we could get a gun off them? And like, so like I did it all wrong. Like it kind of is like, you find out right after that he's the only one who had a wife on the walk, and it's like, shit, dude, like maybe that's what he's talking about. But also he like fumbles when he goes to grab the gun off the guy, and that's what gets him shot. And then later we see the Native American guy. Hold on, I'm just bringing up the cast.
Oh
now.
yeah,
I don't know why I minimized that.
That guy.
His name was Collie.
We
see Collie Parker actually get a gun off of one of the soldiers and just shoot him. And I cheered. I cheered. I gave a little yes.
That was a really good moment.
I was so pumped. Even though I knew it was going to happen, I'm like, yeah, all right, sweet. All in all, like, I don't think there's a ton to spoil about this. Like, they walk hundreds of miles. You know, one person lives. There is, I would say one thing to talk about, and you said you looked this up, so I think this is interesting to talk about. Do you think that was a good ending for the movie versus how the book ends?
No, I think the book ending would have landed. I think the book ending actually would have landed a lot better in the movie, given the fact that you actually get to see the things that motivate Ray. And I think his character arc would have been so much better at the end if they had stuck with the book ending, personally.
Hear me out. I like the movie more. I think, so in the book, Ray lives, and this is very classic. This is indicative of the time in which it was written, because I think The Long Walk is from late 70s, right? It's Stephen King in his heyday, when he was publishing the most, when like he needed to write this as Richard Bachman because his name was synonymous with
79.
Horror. And this wasn't, thank you. And this wasn't necessarily horror. So he had to publish this under Richard Bachman. This is where the Richard Bachman novels started coming from and stories started coming from. So from that era, and I do think that having the protagonist be the one who lives is indicative of that. I think we have come so far with storytelling that in order to keep things original, we have to have little twists like this. I do like the twist at the end, and allow me to explain why. I think Peter and Ray form kinship along.
Isn't there some romance between them kind of in the book that's like underlined?
Not really. It's like the same. It's the same kind of romance that's like Frodo and Sam are gay.
Oh, it's like bromance.
You know, like it's a bromance that like people like to point at and go, "Hey, it's romance." And it's like actually there's a lot of different forms of love, including like brotherly, platonic,
I got
manly
brotherly
love, like
from them. For
yeah,
sure.
like dude, it's the way you and I love each other. You know, like it's that. Right, like
so gay
if
as
you
fuck.
and yeah, well, exactly. I feel like, by like modern American perspective standards, like if you and I went to dinner, people might assume we're a gay couple.
Take me to dinner,
you know,
Kevin.
But it's because we have that kind of like kinship with one another. Yeah, so like it's that. But you find out over the long walk, you learn kind of about like what really makes these people who they are. And yes, you're right. We see what matters to Ray because what they're doing the entire time is painting him as the guy who you know is gonna survive. And I love that we get the little twist at the end of this, and it made it original. It felt like experiencing the story for the first time again, right? Which to me was really refreshing, because like you don't get that often. And so I was like, that was a bold choice, and they pulled it off. And in the end, so like they have a couple big conversations. Ray, on I think it's like day 2 or 3, he admits to Peter, Peter McFreeze. He admits to Peter why he's walking. And like he kind of tells me, he's like, hey, the Major killed my dad. Like, and it's because his dad was reading, and it actually turns out, I asked you earlier, how far you would get. It turns out I wouldn't even make it to the long walk because I fucking love all the books that he was naming off and the authors. I was like, oh shit, I'm dead in the future. Like, I'm done for.
You're the dad in this movie.
Yeah, I'm the dad in this movie who's like, hey son, I'm gonna actually teach you existentialism and real philosophy that the state doesn't want you to learn, and I die. But he gives him like the, hey, I want vengeance. I want to stop the long walk. And Peter's like, you should choose love. Like, he's like, you shouldn't kill anybody because that will ruin who you are. I really admire who you are. You're a good guy. And then at the end of the movie, instead of getting the choose love moment or like, whatever it is, like in what we get are these two, after bonding that much and establishing this brotherhood, they even suggest at one point, they're like, well, what if we just slow down at the same time so that like they can't kill either one of us because it's a tie. And like the guy who's walking with them, that is the Major's son. Also a really great character, by the way.
Good reveal too.
Yeah, I loved what is it? Garrett Waring did a great job playing this character. Yeah, good reveal too, because like in the beginning, I feel like it's so trope based to have like Ray be the Major's son, or like related to the Major, and then it turns out this other guy is. So, I like that, but they even have that conversation like, oh, well, what if we slow down at the same time? And he's like, you can't do that. They're very exact with this equipment. Like, you think that they would let both of you live? No, you're idiots. So at the end, you get this moment where, Peter's like, hey, I'm gonna slow down so you can win, so you can go see your mom. Because Peter even watches him try to hug his mom, And so, like, Peter's like, hey, I want you to make it back to your mom. I want you to choose love, all the things we talked about before. But instead, in the movie version, Ray goes, yeah, just keep walking. I'm going to walk with you. Let's walk a little more together. And then he lets Peter keep walking. Yeah. And Peter watches the cold reality of what happens when you choose love, because, and this is what's really great about this twist ending, Ray did choose love. He chose his brotherly love for Peter. He did choose love. He did what Peter asked of him, and he maintained his position as that good character. And then Peter was forced to watch as the one person he had ever considered a brother at all in the world gets shot. And so then Peter goes, you know what? I'm going to give him his wish posthumously. I'm going to ask for that carbine right there. And you can and this is what makes this really great. Then you get the ending. The ending is the Major going, you're not going to shoot me. You just made it out. you're gonna get, you have riches and you get a wish. You're not gonna fucking shoot me. And then he shoots him, which is like, that's the message. Is the Major thinks he's impenetrable. He thinks that he can say and do whatever he wants because he's in charge, because he represents the ruling class. And you have this guy who spent his entire life in the worst of scenarios, like going couch to couch, never having a home. His parents got killed in the war. Then he was taken in by an uncle who beat him and beat him up, so he left, right? Then he's just on his own trying to fight and survive, and he gets his face cut and his neck almost slit and left for dead, and then he gets taken in by the state. Turns out that sucks, so he finally signs up for a walk, meets the one nice person who's ever bonded with him ever, sees the guy try to hug his mom because he loves her so much that he doesn't care about his own life, and then watches him die, and he's like, you know what? Fuck this system. And he shoots the Major, and that to me is like, that rounds out all of the storytelling in the best way possible, and I've been talking for a long time. I'm sorry, Odie.
Back to your point about love. I had a thought about that.
Thank you.
I disagree that Ray chose love, because what to me,
Go
what
ahead.
Ray did was go, oh, I have a chance to fix the mistakes that I've made in the past and win this and actually do something good. But instead of choosing love for the person that actually like matters, Ray basically just made his mom have nobody in her life now, because he didn't choose love in the right way. He should have chose love for his mom, because his dad also had a chance to choose right and denounce and make it things right and save his own life, and he didn't to choose to make Ray like to teach a point to Ray, right? And then Ray goes on the long walk and does the exact same thing his dad did. The real loser in this entire movie is the mom.
Is Ray's mom.
Who's, by the way,
so you feel bad for
her scenes where she's like upset and distraught and screaming are some of the most powerful scenes in this movie. So when
Judy Greer does a great job.
When he chooses to let Peter win, my first thought was, well, cool, dude. Now your mom lost her husband to the Major, and now she lost her son to the Major. And now because you made this choice, Peter just lost everything as well. And honestly, the thing is, why I didn't like this ending is Peter choosing to kill the Major. It doesn't change anything.
It does.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't.
It creates a power vacuum.
I doubt
it's great.
It. You tell me that the Major doesn't have a lieutenant colonel that's not going to immediately Vance himself up into the podium?
So you're assuming a lot, but this is what I like about where the movie ends too, is he shoots the Major, he turns around, and there is a rainy, dimly lit by street lamp walk ahead of him that shows. And to me, that's kind of a metaphor for like, all right, well, I also know I'm going to die now, you know? And so like, and I think leaving it there makes the story a proper tragedy, which it is regardless of how it ends, right? Like, it's a tragedy anyway. It doesn't matter if Peter survives. And that's one, like you said, it doesn't matter, you know? So like,
I think
at
Peter
the end of it,
at the end too, I think somebody should have shot him right before the movie ended. And there's
no, I don't think so. No, I think that was
think.
great. I think that was the perfect way to end it, actually. I loved it. The ending was probably what I liked the most about it.
Because I liked the least.
Because I was like...
That's so funny.
I love when we argue. Let's go to dinner. People will think we're married.
We don't disagree about a lot of movies we talk about either.
No, we don't.
It's kind of
fun. Don't. No, and I love the choices that were made with the ending of this film. I thought it was really great. And also I enjoyed watching Mark Hamill, who I didn't realize was Mark Hamill at the time, as a Major who constantly talks about people's ball sacks get shot.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Did you notice, like, that's like his thing. The whole he's like you guys got big sacks.
Yeah,
like,
he's a little sexist. Only men can walk for a
only
long time.
A little bit. Yeah.
So here's the other thing about this movie that like was kind of hard for me, and I was fully paying attention, but they make it sound like this Great War was so long ago, but then Peter says, "Oh, my parents were killed in the Great War when I was young," and even if he's 25.
That's
like even
22 years ago.
That's the thing is like
that's a pretty long time. That's a generation.
I would say that if that's the case, and the last long walk was 6 years ago, there's maybe been like 5 of these in total.
Yeah, not a lot.
See, and
but that's kind of cool. That's what makes it like.
Well, I like that now
like
that I know
there's
that.
not been
Like,
a lot.
I like that
Yeah.
more because I thought this was like a yearly thing. But again, my hang up is I don't believe that every man in the country is signing up for this thing because there's got to be people like me in this universe that are like, I know I wouldn't win.
Well, these are also young men talking, so some of the
Sure.
language might be
I'm
hyperbolic
smart
too.
and
You know,
older, you know,
I don't think you should take like everything that
No,
everybody says in this movie at face value. Yeah.
Here's what I will say about this movie that I think is probably next to the
go ahead.
incredible performances because I cannot get over the performances in this movie. Like,
go ahead.
So fucking good.
Yeah, they were great.
Getting the director of all the Hunger Games movies, I think, was to the benefit of the story. I
agree.
He did a really good job with framing, blocking, the cinematography, the shot setup, the lighting, when it rains, when it's dark, the fact that they have these giant, like, industrial lights that go on the vehicles for when it's nighttime, like the bridge scene. The ending scene is so incredibly well lit and shot, like this just narrow street with the rain and the cobblestone. I think he did a phenomenal job, and I also think that what I want now is the Hunger Games, but R-rated, because I think the brutality of this is what is one of the things that I liked, and not because I'm like, oh, I love watching kids get shot in the head, or I guess they're not really kids. So, like people get shot in the head in general, is it adds that layer of this is it. Like, you are not getting out of this. Like, there's a kid that gets his legs run over by a tank. Like, there is some brutal stuff in this, and I think in the Hunger Games, that's always been kind of missing. Is like kids will take arrows to the heart and like get their necks snapped and stuff, but like it doesn't feel as brutal as it should for what that series is doing. And I'm not knocking the Hunger Games. Like, I'm just saying, like, in the sense of like the brutality of it, this really, like the first kill, like the kid's jaw fucking like comes off and is hanging on by some skin. And like I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Dude, here's a crazy thing. Did you know David Johnson's 32?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep.
That's crazy. He's like the oldest actor in this film.
He's
other than Mark Hamill.
He's a decade older
and Judy Greer.
than Kaufman.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I thought, this movie's like, dude, and it is brutal. Some of the killings, like I said, one kid he has the shits and he still gets shot.
Or the kid that gets pushed on the pavement and his whole face gets scratched up and then he gets shot.
Oh God, yeah. He goes to punch that guy, falls over, scrapes
kid
himself
also
up,
fucking
can't
stabs
get
himself
up.
in the neck. That was disturbing.
No, it's great. It's great. It's great. It's a true Stephen King story. There's some horror elements to it, but the horror is sociological. The horror is microcosmic, and it's brought down to a very human level. I also like the commentary. So that character, Barkovich?
Oh, Barkovich,
he represents like the misunderstood, misplaced, mentally not challenged, but like the mentally unwell of the country. Like, he very clearly has something like schizophrenia or something wrong with him. He's hitting himself in the head. He's calling himself stupid, and then like the next moment being nice. He's like bipolar or something, right? Like, you don't know what's wrong with him, but you know he's not all there.
Oh yeah.
And it shows like he has a harder time assimilating to a group. He has a hard time making friends, even in the moments where he's trying. He's creeping people out, you know? And it shows how society continually, even in a setting where you have so much in common, the most important thing in common, that all of you might die, that like he still is ostracized. He still is not treated well, you know? Like, and as someone who's read Michel Foucault's Madness and Civilization, I think that was a really great thing to add to the book, because it shows the ostracization of people and the lack of understanding and empathy that's given to people who are mentally unsound, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
it's good.
Look, I get why people like it. I think that the story is good for what it is.
Yep.
I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
Can I tell you the best thing about this movie?
Sure.
I sat down next to an older gentleman whose name I found out after the film is Tim, because I introduced myself and thanked him for making the movie better for me. Tim, very early on in the movie, decided to start reading out loud what mile they were on, because every time they cut scene to like a next chapter or like part, like to show the passing of time and like where they're at and kind of keep you up to date as the viewer, in the bottom left corner of the screen it would say like mile 2.
Yeah.
Literally the first time it happens, he goes mile 2, and I was like, all right. That's who I'm sitting next to. All right, Tim. All right, cool. I don't know his name at this point, but I'm not mad about it. Whatever. He's just reading the thing out loud. But like what made it great was the journey that I got to hear him go on, like verbally, because then like he's like, "Oh, mile 10." And it's like, "Oh, you've never walked 10 miles." Like, and then he's like day 3, man. Like, he just became more and more impressed and astonished by how far that is.
That's how I felt.
He was like, mile 340. Like, he really was throwing it down. I was like, wow, good for you. You're loving this, man.
Yeah, when they reached the 200s, that's when I was like, oh, I wouldn't be here anymore.
And I can tell, because I introduced myself to him, I could tell his wife did not enjoy what she just watched as I walked out of the theater, because he was there with her.
That's funny.
And like, she was like, you could see it on her face. She did not like that movie. But yeah, so that's what made my movie that much better, was sitting next to Tim. And like, because in your mind, you're kind of thinking that anyway. You're like, damn, man, that's pretty fucking far. And like, I got live commentary on how far they had gone and how amazing that was.
Yeah. I mean,
that's it.
Yeah, look, I would probably suggest people to go see this if these kind of stories interest you. If you're like me and you're like, I just never can get into them, I would say just wait for streaming.
Yeah, also slight warning, if you don't like watching people get shot in the face, like maybe skip this one. Like,
yeah,
it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. You can't avoid it. People are going to get shot. So
yeah,
you might want to skip it.
And run over.
Because that's a quintessential part of this film, is people getting shot. Like, they call it getting your ticket. But what it is a carbine shooting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway, what's your jam this week,
I was going to
Odie?
say, next weekend is Him. Which is another kind of like psychological brutality kind of movie, or brutal movie.
Psychological thriller, actually.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it looks brutal too.
It's gonna be a tough watch, I think.
Yeah.
In a good way,
I agree.
Okay, so jam, right?
Yeah. What you got this week?
I don't know if this is a jam, but I want to talk about this here.
Hit me.
I tried to watch The Paper, the Office spinoff sequel with the same creative team, about an Ohio newspaper.
Yeah.
I think it's time for this kind of show to die.
You mean the mockumentary show?
Look, there was a lot of potential for this show in the first episode.
Yeah, the docu-sitcom?
Yeah, I think I've reached the point where when you have a character who is actively being a nuisance and trying to cause problems and like throw off the status quo, and
you
like
mean Jim?
It was never Jim.
Okay.
I would say it was, well, there wasn't really, I think it was more of Steve Carell's character in The Office was like the nuisance and the problem.
He was the oblivious, offensive one.
Yeah, in this one, there's this guy, Ned Domhnall Gleeson, goes to work for this paper. There's a lot in between, but it doesn't matter. And he becomes the editor-in-chief, and there's this woman, who was like the active editing-in-chief. And so when he comes in and actually gets the position, she makes it her mission to sabotage him. And like, she does it by trying to pretend to be nice, but she just like, in the third episode, I turned off the third episode because there's clearly like a romantic tension between like him and another character, right? Like that's how it is, like the Jim and Pam. And she's like, she's trying to sabotage it by being like, she's asexual and like coming up with all these lies that like, again, could so easily be fixed if at any point Ned just went up to the girl and was like, hey, this person told me this thing about you. I just like, if it's true, like I support you, or like just even like any conversation, any sticky note, right? And it's so like secondhand cringe, secondhand embarrassment at this point that like, I don't think that this show, it already got renewed for a season 2. And that's the thing, is like, it got renewed before it even debuted. And I just,
of course it did.
I don't think it has the same charm that the first Office did, and Oscar's in it. And
Yep.
like he's
the only one who carried over.
And his whole thing is, I don't want to be on camera. You can't use any of this. And there's just one scene where he just sits there and curses at the camera, so it's just a bunch of beeps. And it's just not like that's not the vibe I got from Oscar in The Office, that he didn't want to be on camera and stuff. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it works. And yeah, I know it's our jam section, but I needed to talk about this because I tried it. And the first episode, I was like, oh, this could be good. And the second episode, I was like, where's this going? And then I got 10 minutes into the third, and I was like, I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my actual my jammy jam.
Yeah, hit me with a jammy jam.
My jammy jam is, again, Bad Omens released a new single this week called Impose, and it is phenomenal. Bad Omens being my favorite band. They released Spectre not too long ago. I'm super excited for their new album that's supposed to come out later this year. Feels a lot more dark compared to their previous albums, a lot less heavy in terms of like their sound, a lot more ethereal. So I'm really it definitely gives me some Sleep Token vibes just as a whole, like a lot more in that realm of more like slowed down, powerful lyrics, like kind of like ethereal sounding almost.
Wait, you think Deftones?
Never said Deftones.
Oh, okay. No, I'm like, do you think like Deftones vibes maybe?
Oh, no, I was thinking more like, I think like the Sundowning album from Sleep Token. Like,
okay.
It kind of has
a
little bit of that. But yeah, my actual jam was that, because other than that, I haven't done, besides trying to watch the paper, I haven't done anything this week.
Okay.
Except for work.
Cool. Alien Earth is good. If people aren't watching it, watch it. That's definitely a jam.
I am caught up on that. That's pretty good.
Oh, good.
I just don't like
phenomenal.
the crossfades. They need to stop with all the cross dissolves, please.
Yep. A bunch of cool music came out this week. I'd like to share it with you now. So we've got Between the Barrett and Me. They released their new album, The Blue Nowhere. I will be seeing that next Sunday with Hail the Sun, which is great. And then I'm seeing Sleep Token the same week.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So that was phenomenal. The same day that came out, we also got Dance Gavin Dance's new album, Pantheon. I think it's phenomenal. Andrew did a great job doing vocals and lyrics on this album. I think every time Dance Gavin Dance switches singers, which has happened now 4 or 5 times in their career, 5 if you count Johnny Craig coming back for an album and then leaving again. Every time they switch singers, it's really interesting to hear how the sound changes, because they really do write for the vocals. Sergio Medina comes in on this album playing some guitar and a little bit of bass. I think that was great. And then he, like just the way that they approach it, you can tell they're having fun with it too, because the album is a little bit more like fun and experimental than some others have been. There's even like a George Clinton cameo on it, you know, like he gets funky on the album, which is cool.
Bill Clinton?
No, George
Plays
Clinton.
the saxophone?
George Clinton. He's the Parliament Funkadelic, man. So that was really good. And then really cool album, and actually the first of the 3 that I listened to all the way through that came out yesterday. No, Friday. Was The Sound of Animals Fighting released the album The Matron, right? I believe, or The Maiden. And that was a really nice surprise. The Sound of Animals Fighting is a supergroup from early emo days, like from early 2000, like early to mid 2000s, before 2010. And they have like Anthony Green and other emo just legends, emo indie legends in the band. And they did a couple albums, and then it was like, okay, well, is this going to be a thing? And then they kind of disbanded for a while, so it was really cool to see them come back together. Their sound is so weird. The only way I could describe it is it is the music you imagine your most alternative-looking barista listens to. And, like, you already know what I'm talking about. But they're called The Sound of Animals Fighting. They're absolutely phenomenal. I loved this album through and through. And I'm really glad that was the first one that I listened to all the way through. And it really surprised me how much I liked it, too.
Nice.
So those are my jams this week. Three really great albums came out. I get to go see one of them in a week. I get to go see another in a month. And then I think Sound of Animals Fighting are touring next year. And that's it, baby. That's the podcast this week. We're talking about him next week. Produced, not directed by Jordan Peele.
Similar to Nightmare
even
Before
though
Christmas, produced,
keep
not directed by Tim Burton.
It is Tim. Let's just say the title correctly. Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I refuse
to. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the UnPop Podcast. Thank you for wading your way through this absurd and chaotic existence with us. If you have any comments, questions, concerns about our mental health, or would like us to podcast live at your funeral, please feel free to email mysecretpoweris@gmail.com. Art by FrankAce. Music by moi. See you next week. It's a nice day for recording, right?
Yes.
It's a nice day to podcast again.
You're really on the singing kick lately, aren't you? Like on the podcast, you really lean into that, huh?
I legitimately didn't know that I could do that until I did that this morning. Like, that's one of the... No, that voice, that... You know, like, just really Billy Idol it up. I didn't know that I could, like, lean into a Billy Idol. Style. No, like, yeah, I need a leather jacket, and I think he wore chaps at one point, right? He wore some chaps.